I want to talk about Charlie Kirk and Melissa Hortman. I warned the White House, the FBI, and the United States Attorney General's office about both of them. Melissa Hortman, they didn't. Oklahoma didn't give a name when they were talking about assassinating a representative, so I didn't know who. But I warned them almost a month before her assassination. They were going to use their connections in the police force to carry it out, which is exactly what I told the government. No one did shit. So I figured a few months later, 2 weeks before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I give them a warning that this time they specifically said, they literally, it was 2 weeks and 1 day before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I called the same three: U.S. Attorney General's office, the United States FBI in Maryland, and the White House. Told them, okay, Oklahoma's talking about killing Charlie Kirk on his very next outing. They said they've already arranged something with the local police. You need to do something. They said, "Oh, we'll get it. We'll do this. We'll do that. We got this. We'll make sure nothing happens." Do we all remember the same reality? The government said they would make sure nothing would happen to him. He was assassinated. I don't know what version of reality the government lived in at that point. But imagine being warned before two assassinations and failing to protect anybody both times. And one of the warnings came in with such detail, they could have easily done something. They could have postponed the event. They could have stopped the event. They could have done anything but let him walk on that stage. Then, months later, because I post this on my TikTok, my Google account, this was everywhere I posted. Oklahoma cited that it was a national security threat, that I was accusing them accurately of assassinating U.S. representatives. The case with Midwest City, when every last single member in Midwest City of their government claimed they do not have to follow state and federal law. They haven't been doing it for over 3 decades now. All of it was cited as a national security firm because that would mean, number one, Midwest City is not a part of this nation. Number two, the deal that Midwest City is trying to make to get in bed with Tinker would be considered terrorism, which, like the U.S. Attorney General's office said, Midwest City is guilty of treason and terrorism because they've been doing this for so long. They don't have a police force, which means every time a police officer in that city fires a gun, it's a gang member firing at a civilian. They're no longer police because the U.S. government do not license armed external forces. And as long as their police chief and their mayor and their city council, all of them claiming, oh, we're not a part of this nation, we're a separate entity entirely, they don't have a police force. And they said this has been going on back in 2020. They said for 3 decades this has been going on. So I want you all to remember this. Google and every other single social media platform decided to bury evidence of Charlie Kirk's murder and the involvement of a entire party, the Republican Party of Oklahoma. They're not doing it because, oh, he was a threat to them. They're doing it because someone paid them. They were already planning to do it because in their great exit of the United States, the fact that them and Texas are both talking about leaving the U.S., they needed enough chaos so they could exit and steal what they could. Killing politicians was supposedly what they were going to do to try to push people away from what they were actually doing, robbing the country blind while they exit quietly. And no one did anything. Our government allowed two politicians to be murdered by them. Two. The first one you can say, okay, you didn't give specifics. We didn't know who they were going after. Yeah. But the second one, Charlie Kirk, next public outing, they are going to take him out. Nothing could have been more clear. And then the fact that they allowed this state Once I went to Senate and Congress to attempt to delete evidence, and the government didn't even try to stop the companies, they just let it happen. Tells you that obviously our government was involved in an assassination of a U.S. representative.